It is one of those special Sunday afternoons at Coors Field, just about summertime. And the Rockies getting ready to take on the Reds. Rockies won Friday by a run, lost by a run yesterday. And German Marquez making his way to the Coors Field mound. It'll be start number 11 for German. The Rockies rolled out the same 5 all season long. And that's a good thing. It's unusual in today's game. And when you have 5 guys as talented as the young rotation is for the Rockies, it's why they're in first place right now as you look at some more numbers on German.
Yeah, these numbers are brought to you by our good friends at Conoco. 3-5 record, 4.62 ERA. And this gives you a snapshot of what he has been using this year with the fastball velocity, the curveball, the slider, the changeup. The changeup has increased from early on in the season. It was about 4%. It's up to 6 now, and he's using it more and more to the right-handers, getting some good depth, throwing it for a lot of strikes. About 60% of the time, the changeup is being thrown for a strike for German. But again, we talked about it before. We'll talk about it again. First inning runs have hurt the Rockies. They've hurt German. His last start against the Dodgers, 13 pitches. It was 1, 2, 3, clean first inning. Let's hope that continues today.
Absolutely. The first batter of the first inning has an OPS of 1100 against him. And the first pitch is ball 1 on Jesse Winker. The leadoff batter all other innings, a 497 OPS, which is outstanding.
Yeah, but that's hard to believe that it's that high.
And this is hit in the air to left field. Should be an easy play for David Dahl out there. David's got it. And we can put that stat to bed.
Nice. Love it.
Tucker Barnhart, switch hitting catcher, coming up. And here's a look at the Southwest batting order for Jim Riggleman this Sunday afternoon. Joey Votto will hit behind Barnhart. Then Scooter Gennett off the 5-hit performance. He's done it one other time in his career. Eugenio Suarez, Scott Schebler, Jose Peraza, Harvey will bat 8th. They do that with their pitcher because Billy Hamilton almost every day bats in the 9 spot. And strike 1 on Tucker Barnhart. Barnhart had a couple of hits in the Friday night ball game. Tony Cruz caught last night, and he broke an 0 for 11 with a 2-run home run. I don't think Nolan saw that initially, but he was able to make the play.
Either didn't see it or didn't get a good read on it, one of the two. And sometimes it's real hard during the day games because you get some shadows off the seats. So he doesn't react. He makes a drop step before he comes and get it, but you know, Nolan's so good at whatever he does, is able to recover and make the out.
Well, 2 quick outs, gotta love that. And Joey Votto takes down low, ball 1. Rockies defense. Cargo's in there for the first time as a starter in this series. He's in right field. Charlie obviously is next to him in center. And the infield has Ryan Mcmahon at second base again. Ryan threw out a couple of hits yesterday, but he made a gorgeous play defensively. Probably the best defensive play we saw last night.
Yeah, that sliding play to his left.
Well, Nolan had a pretty good one also yesterday.
Well, the diving one, that might have topped it. The diving one late in the game.
3-0 on Joey Votto. And he's swinging away 3-0, and he does his thing. He lines it toward the wall. Cargo may have a play on Votto. A double with 2 outs by one of the premier hitters in the game.
Well, you just knew he was going to be swinging 3-0. You fall behind, and then you have to feed a fastball to somebody like Joey Votto on the Subaru Supermo. He just rips this one and goes to the wall. I think Cargo initially thought it was going to kick off the wall just a little bit harder. It didn't. It just died and dropped there, and that's why he wasn't able to get it in time to get Votto at second. It would have been a tough play anyway.
You talk about short to the baseball, man. Joey Votto. He gets the barrel to the hitting zone quickly, doesn't he?
He's choked up 2-3 inches on the bat. That helps him get to that baseball. He is some kind of quick.
Well, it's time to cool off Scooter Gennett. 2 outs, runner in scoring position, 1-0 on the Reds' second baseman, and he slashes one down the left field line. That's going to bring in Votto. It's going to be back-to-back doubles. Gennett with 6 consecutive hits, and when it looked like, you know what, Marcus going to be all right, 2 quick outs in the first inning, Another first inning run against him.
But what happened? He fell behind to Joey Votto, 3-0. He rips a double. Scooter Gennett, he falls behind, 1-0. He rips a double down the left field line, inside out. That is now an 11.70 ERA for Germán.
14 of the 29 runs he's allowed this year have come in the first inning, and the Reds have scored in the first inning in each of these 3 ball games. One yesterday, they had 2 Friday night. Remember, the Rockies came from behind to win Friday night when they were down 4-1. It's just a bounce you get in your step, isn't there, Huey? When you get off the field quickly and you go to the bat rack, all right, here we go, it's our turn.
Well, and it helps, you know, baseball players are conditioned to forget about yesterday when they get here, but there was still some hangover, I think, when you come to the ballpark after that stunning defeat last night. You think, okay, today's a new day. Once the game starts, today's a new day. You don't think about it, but you're right. Hey, 1, 2, 3, quick, let's go hit. Let's get after Matt Harvey.
2-0 on Suarez, a tough out. On the inside corner, the borderline pitch on the Subaru strike zone is called strike 1, fortunately. Dan Bellino's calling balls and strikes. 2-1 on Suarez. He had a little 4-game hitting streak snapped last night. He was 0 for 4. And the curveball misses. Good block by Walters. Keep it in the neighborhood. 3-1. Now I got to look back, Huey, to Friday night's game and see what Gennett did in his final at bat. He struck out. So it's 6 straight hits for Scooter Gennett. I said that, and I said, well, let me double check what I'm
Yeah, he got a hit
first.
in his first at bat on Friday night.
And a walk.
And here comes Steve Foster.
He's made more visits to Germán in the first inning this year than all the other innings combined, I would bet. And for pitching coaches, for managers, especially when you're talking about a Buddy Black, who was a pitching coach and a tremendous pitcher in his own right, you rack your brain when there's such a consistent theme of a guy struggling out of the gate. All right, do we throw more pitches in the bullpen leading into the ball game?
Right.
Do we do something different in the preparation 4 days prior? All of those things.
Right, and trust me, folks, they have done all of these things. They've thought these every which way to Sunday.
Well, they break everything down now. We had Brian Fuentes in here yesterday, and it's not like Brian's ancient. I mean, he played a handful of years ago, and the scouting reports they got and the review of their performances are completely different.
Oh my goodness!
It is so nuanced now in comparison to just a handful of years ago.
Well, what was he saying? He was saying we thought about, okay, we got to pitch this guy outside, or we got to pitch him inside, and you know, maybe it's a change up to him. But it wasn't a, hey, when you're ahead in the count on 2-0 on a Sunday afternoon, that at 1 o'clock start, this is what we throw.
They have broken down every single pitch he's thrown in the first inning, I guarantee you.
Oh, yeah.
Multiple times.
Exactly right.
Sequencing, everything's been looked at. Here's the 0-1 on Schebler. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Reds play in an offensive ballpark, but coming into today, their OPS was 25th in baseball. And here's a rollover, easy play for Mcmahon. So in the inning, after there were 2 outs, Votto doubles and Gennett doubles, and the Rockies trail 1-0. They'll look to get after Matt Harvey when we come back. And they're going to face the Dark Knight. Here's the Southwest batting order from Buddy Black. David Dahl and Charlie Blackmon, they've combined to have a nice series so far against the Reds up top. And then you have Nolan Arenado. That's not bad. Trevor Story will bat cleanup. Cargo looking to get going. He'll bat fifth. Ian Desmond, Ryan McMahon, Tony Walters, and Germán Marquez. Well, Matt Harvey, as we were discussing in the open, has turned things around, at least so far, in a Cincinnati uniform. Now, the first two starts, Huey, 4 innings, but his last start was 6 innings.
Yeah, and just 93 pitches in those 6 innings. Had 5 strikeouts, a couple walks, 1 earned run in the start against Pittsburgh.
One of the things about Matt that I think for any guy that was a power pitcher, you had Tommy John surgery, that changes a little bit. At least in his case, he doesn't have the big-time velo anymore.
Well, you see that right now it's at 93, but you think back to a few years ago, he was throwing at 96 miles an hour. So it's hard when you don't have that extra 3 miles an hour. It also affects your spinning pitches, your breaking pitches, your slider in particular, because it doesn't have the depth and bite to it. So you have to figure out a different way. You can't sometimes just throw the ball past people.
Right, and in your MO, in your head, you're that same guy, and it takes a while to realize I can't be that macho guy anymore.
Right, and that's really, really difficult for an athlete.
So here's David. He scorched that ball in the 9th inning last night, and he hits this high and deep to right field, way back, and take a good look. You won't see it for long. Second deck shot for Dahl, and the Rockies have tied it up.
Taylor was talking about David in our open and what he's done in this series. But Black was talking about how aggressive he likes to be. Well, he was aggressive on this first pitch on the Subaru Supermo, letter high fastball. And that's where 93 you can catch up to it. 96 you cannot catch up to that a lot of times. And that goes into the second deck. And for all of this stuff we were talking about at the top of the first inning, with the Reds scoring, ball game's tied.
Now here's Nolan. That's such a great point you make, Huey, about the elevated fastball. And I know Spilly talks about this all the time, that there's a demarcation point, and for him, and I speak for you in this, it's like 94.
Yes.
You know, 94 and underneath that good fastball, but you can catch up to it. When it gets above 94 and it's above the hands, it's hard, man.
It's like you have that governor on your bat. Like sometimes they would have on cars.
Yeah.
you couldn't go above a certain speed limit.
I had it on my first car.
Right, okay. Yeah. I mean, I think we all had one of those cars growing up. But that's what your bat acts like once it gets above 94, 95.
Good piece of hitting. This is shot toward the gap, and it'll be cut off nicely by Schebler to keep Nolan at first base.
Kids today have no idea what a governor is on a car.
No, they don't. They hopefully know who the governor of their state is. That ball came off the bat, by the way, on the home run by Dahl at 104 miles an hour. Here's David. Boy, is he uniquely gifted.
Time now for the Pizza Ranch for the win. No double trouble. The Rockies, as you see, hit into 5 double plays last night. But technically, I mean, 5's bad, okay? But technically, it was only 4 grounded into double play, so it wasn't a team record. The team record is 5. That last one was a line-out double play.
Yeah, either way.
Either way, it's not good.
No good.
Not good. But I had somebody ask me this morning, was that a team record? No.
Yeah, the Rockies have on several occasions grounded into 5 double plays in a game on the ground. I guess if I say grounded into, that would cover it. I didn't need to reiterate it. Boy, Story had a pitch to hit. Peraza, there's wind up there. You can see
wind, there's sun, there's a lot going on.
Guys shuffling their feet a little bit. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Cargo with Nolan at first.
Cargo had that walk last night in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Yeah, that's where reputation came in. We know Cargo is struggling this year, and we know for 4.5 months last year he really struggled, but they wanted nothing to do with pitching to him last night.
Even though you go over the scouting reports and say, okay, so-and-so struggling, he's still Carlos Gonzalez. And sometimes pitchers, and other teams, they still go on reputation.
And they did have the luxury of the open base to set up a force all around.
Without that being the winning run.
Right.
The winning run was already at second base.
1-0 on Cargo. He's due against Harvey. Lifetime, he's 0 for 9 against Matt Harvey. Historically, he has swung the bat very well against Cincinnati pitching. 2-0. Good takes. And I think inside, Cargo realizes that more than anybody, he's got to start to put together the kind of games he's capable of.
One of the games we saw the last 6 or 7 weeks last year.
Two and one.
But that's not a bad pitch to take if you look at that on the Subaru Super Bowl. Kind of away from him, up on a 2-0 count. Not bad at all.
You get to 2-0, 3-1. You want to swing at your pitch in your happy zone. Be a little less selective here.
It's about the same spot. You see the awkward swing, reach for it, go out and around instead of letting it travel to you.
He got a little detached there, didn't he?
Yeah. Detached meaning the hands got away too far away from the body.
1-1 game. Nolan at first with 2 outs. And Cargo crushes one high and deep. Take a good look. You won't see this one for long. How about the third deck? Welcome home, Cinco. That was loud and proud.
And we all have a special place in our heart for Cargo. And to see him come out and do this, not only personally for him, but for the team. And then somebody got a souvenir in about the 4th row in the 3rd deck. Tucker Barnhart just put his head down. 110 miles an hour off the bat.
That thing was on its way to Lyman.
And that's just vintage Cargo where he swings and then drops the bat, starts jogging out.
Bouncing ball foul, 0-2 on Desmond. That was reminiscent of Huey back in the day when you would hit the big fly. You just walked up the first base line, got to view it the whole way.
No.
But you were in a dead sprint?
Yeah, dead sprint the whole way. That was Cargo's 1300th career hit.
How about that?
Yeah.
That's a memorable one.
He's had some memorable home runs.
And Desmond takes a called strike 3, but the Rockies respond against the Dark Knight, putting up a 3 spot, and they play long ball. Home run by Dahl. And then Cargo on a 3-2 pitch goes upper tank. Like the start. The Rockies lead 3-1. Folks, if the Rockies score 7 or more and they're on their way, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special with Moss at Taco Bell. Jose Peraza is going to pop this up to his shortstop counterpart. 1 out. And that'll bring up Matt Harvey. So Matt Harvey departed the Mets after being moved to the bullpen, and he didn't pitch well out of the pen. He had an ERA of 7 with New York this year. And he takes strike 1.
He was 0-2. 4 starts, then he moved into the pen for 4 other games.
Mcmahon with 2 quick fastballs for strikes against Matt Harvey. And the Connecticut native swings and misses. He'll jog in the direction of first. Tony completes the play to Desi, and they're 2 outs. That is the first strikeout of the afternoon for Herman. And Billy Hamilton will come up. Well, this is interesting as we take a look at the Subaru StatCast from last night, because Billy had a triple, and triples are always fun to watch, especially when this guy's doing it.
Well, he almost turned it into an inside the park home run. But 30.8 feet per second. Took him 10.39 just to go from home to third. That's about what it's like when Drew's running from home to first.
You think I can get there in that amount of time? Is that enough? Billy, here's the race, okay? I'm going to go home to first. You got to go home to third. Ready?
Go.
Go. 1-1.
That's the element that's been there for Billy.
There's 3 guys that jump into my mind. No, you know, my mind works in funny ways, all right? You know that.
Yes.
1 and 2. There are 3 guys in running out a triple in my lifetime of watching baseball that I said, boy, that is so much fun to watch. Billy Hamilton, you know, I don't like it coming against the Rockies, but I mean, he's a blur. Growing up, Mookie Wilson. Did you ever overlap with Mookie?
No.
He was done by the time you got in. Or maybe you may overlap
no, I think
a little bit.
Did,
you did
yeah,
overlap.
a couple games, yeah.
Because Mookie could fly. And Preston's dad. And Dexter Fowler.
I'll tell you the guys that I played against, that watching them. Deion Sanders.
Wow, I forgot. That's right.
Deion, that was a blur. Vince Coleman.
Yep.
And Willie Wilson.
That's a foul ball. It's a strikeout. You don't see that much. Seen D. Gordon try to do that with 2 strikes. So Hamilton with 2 strikes tried to bunt his way on, and he's gone. Rockies up 3-1.
wearing their Memorial Day uniform. After this weekend, and the money that they sell those for will be donated to charity. Now, Major League Baseball this year really wanted to get back to what Memorial Day is all about, and that is honoring those who lost their life in combat. So they're changing the charities that the money will be donated to. And this year, one will be the Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors, which helps those grieving out. And then the second one will be the Folds of Honor Foundation, which helps get scholarships to children of guys who lost their lives in combat. Guys?
All right, thanks very much. And it's special that Major League Baseball is able to do this and raise so much money to take care of our veterans.
Their families.
Absolutely. Ryan Mcmahon with a 2-1 count facing Matt Harvey after a very productive first inning against Harvey for the Rockies. Boy, that was a Rockies-like Coors Field inning, wasn't it?
It was kind of nice to see, too.
Really good to see.
You know, you come out, you get 3 quick ones on the board.
Especially,
and then 2 bombs, 2 no doubters.
Yeah, no doubters. And this ball sliced to fairly deep left field. It's got a little bit of legs on it, but it's going to fall short of leaving the yard. On the edge of the track, McMahon's fly ball caught by Jesse Winker. But, you know, on the heels of last night's disappointment, and then, hey, the first inning, 2 quick outs for Marcus, and then he gave up a run. So it was a great response. With 1 out, here's Tony Walters.
Well, then you know, it had to make Herman feel better when he was going out there for the second inning, because that was a quick 1, 2, 3. I don't know where they were in the lineup, but he said, okay, my boys picked me up. My teammates picked me up, got me 3 runs.
Yep. Got a great stat for you on Mr. Walters, San Diego native, making his 22nd start behind the plate this year. The Rockies are 14-7 when he's got the gear on. But look out, Tony's making a habit of doing that.
Wow,
Tony, put a little more pine tar on the bat, put some stickum on there.
That's twice now Dave's had to hop up down by the dugout.
This time Herman was in firing range. It was Dave Ponarelli, who's the head of security down there the other day. Long-time member of the Denver Police Department and detective. Got to get a shot at Dave. There's Dave. Get him a little TV time. He's got to adjust the sunglasses. It's bright out there.
It is.
Good take. 2-2. Well, if you're into, DRS, defensive runs saved, Tony Walters leading Major League catchers in that department with 8. You know who's second? The guy who's behind the plate for the Reds. Always been a good receiver, Tucker Barnhart.
Yep.
And you know what a trait they share? Physically, they're not big guys.
No, remember the day of the 6'3", 6'4" Matt Wieters?
Well, I think he played with one. Jody Davis. Did he play with Jody Davis?
I played against him.
Okay.
Lance Parrish.
Yeah, big dudes.
Yeah.
A 1-out walk for Walters, which Tony's been gathering up those walks. Hey, join in on the conversation today. Send us your questions, photos, use Twitter, and include the hashtag Toyota Talk.
We were talking about Jody Davis. He is their manager, the Reds manager at their AA club.
Didn't know that.
In Pensacola.
You were in Jacksonville, right?
Yes.
When you were in the Southern League?
Yes.
Was Walk with you in Jacksonville?
Yep. Yeah, Larry Walker was on that team. We had quite a few.
I hope Larry's listening to us today. We'll know very quickly because he'll text us. But was he a loose cannon then in AA?
No.
Not yet?
No.
That came later?
Yeah. I played with him. I played with Walk for 3 years. A-ball, AA, a little bit in the AAA.
You played with him in the same town that Frazier played in, right?
Burlington,
in Burlington, Iowa, right?
That was a co-op team. Expos and the Royals. There was, I think, 12 or 13 Expo players and then 12 Royal players. Our manager was an Expo. The pitching coach was a Royal. And we had 3 guys make it up to the big leagues off that team.
How many of each?
Well, 2 Expos, myself and Larry, and Melito Perez from the Royals.
Melito and Pascual Perez.
I played with Pascual in Montreal.
Do you remember when you and I, one time were driving to Turner Field and we decided to do the Pascual Perez?
we missed the exit. We circled around.
We were crying, laughing, going to that game.
I remember that.
We did get there.
We
Pascual
did.
did.
Yeah, they had to start somebody else.
Right. He offered at it, so it's a 2-strike count on Herman. Just listening to some of you guys on stories from Burlington, Iowas of the world. I'm sure that some of the times were painful, but now when you look back, you might have missed.
They helped mold me, helped shape me.
Absolutely, right?
Yeah, while you're going through it, and you're my first year, I was making $700 a month before taxes were taken out. I think it was like about $290 every 2 weeks that I was making playing A-ball.
$290, I'll buy a lot of groceries.
Yeah.
So here comes Charlie with 2 outs and Walters at first.
Yeah, but how about that, where you have a co-op team and half the team's one organization, the other's another?
Yeah,
It doesn't happen now.
Curveball's in there from Harvey for a strike. Ground ball through the center of the diamond, a base hit. Walters will go first to third. 5th hit in the series for Charlie Blackmon.
You knew somebody would start to pay.
That's the exact words of Buddy Black Friday afternoon prior to the start of this series.
Well, then it started Friday night with 2 hits for Charlie. It was 2 for 4 last night. He was 2 for 4 with a walk. And now today 1 for 2. Okay, did they throw David a first pitch fastball here after he crushed the other one? I don't think so.
Nope, you were all over it. To a breaking ball, and it was well located. David Dahl, in some respects, reminds me of different body types. Corey Seager's a big guy, about 6'5", but that aggressive mentality.
Well, we see what happens when you swing at the first pitch. The batting average. Sometimes it might be the best pitch you get of that whole at bat.
Well, I'll give you a team that's super aggressive. The Rockies saw them first week of the season, and they're surprising a lot of folks, and that's the Atlanta Braves. Good take.
Good eye.
2-1.
That started on the Subaru strike zone out of the hand, but with the movement, it ended up off the plate.
3 in the first from the Rockies, a home run by Dahl, 2-run shot from Cargo, and now 2 on here with 2 outs in the second. And this is pulled sharply, but Jeanette's going to grab it. And that'll get Cincinnati off the field in the second without giving up any more runs. 3-1 Colorado as we go to the third. Afternoon. It'll be the top of the order for the Reds in the third against Germán Marquez. And we welcome to the booth, as we do on an annual basis, our friend Gary Howard from Miracles on Ice. It's been 12 years now, huh?
12 years coming up. It's been awesome.
Good for you. You look like you've been out on the ice. You want to know why? You're in great shape.
I can only hope so. As you get older, maybe you just get wiser. I don't know.
Again, it's going to be at DU like it's been held for a number of years now. And
yes.
Just tell us a little bit more about the experience.
Sure. We put a program on for 32 inner city kids in connection with Denver Bridge Project. And we bring these young boys and girls down to the rink for the first time. But we have a week full of not only learning to skate, but talking about life lessons, choices, decisions you make, school. And we have a pretty full week for these kids.
Is it, when you say there's a lot of things that take place, easy play free and Desmond, 1 out. They're learning hockey a little bit, certainly. They're learning life skills, academic skills.
Yes, we put hockey as a core part of the program to challenge these kids because they've never been on the ice before. So during the course of that week, while they're learning all about the game and how to stand up, skate, pass, we also bring teachers in. So we do math classes every day, reading classes every day. Really tries to help these kids not have a learning gap as the summer goes on. And we're seeing great results from the program.
You have about 50 or 60 volunteers that help with this camp.
Yes.
For the 32 kids.
Yeah, no, it's a tremendous student-teacher ratio. And we get old people, young people, people that are in the middle of their careers. They take a week off and they come and devote it to these kids. It is really a passion for many of our volunteers. We've had many of them with us all 12 years.
How about this? This is Tucker Barnhart getting his bat blown up. 2 outs. Good pitch. I'm sure you have so many success stories now that you're embarking on your 12th year. Tell us 1 or 2. Share with us.
Sure, sure. Well, our camp is from 9 to 11-year-olds, so it takes a while for them to move on into that college age. But in connection with Bridge, we see some of the overall statistics that we feel we're hoping to be becoming a part of. Where the kids that stay in the Bridge program all the way through high school, they have a 100% graduation rate compared to the rest of Denver schools, which is around 63%. So the Bridge program is working, and we're just one small element of that, and we hope that we are making a difference with these kids. Very
quickly, because tell folks when your camp's coming up, but as importantly, or maybe more importantly, is there something that we can solicit from folks who are listening in today?
Sure. We have a website, Miracles on Ice, camps.org. So you can find out more about us. You can follow us on all the social areas. Contributions, cash and or time, volunteers. We have a sign-up program. So we're always looking for ways to have our dollars go further, and we also put together packages for the kids at the end of camp. We buy books for them. We buy some clothes for them, because all of these kids, they live in families where the income's below the poverty level. So anything we can do to send off a positive message, we'd like to do that with the kids.
Yeah,
and even if you're not able to attend the camp as a volunteer or something, you can still go watch this.
That's right. Yeah, the camp is June 11th through 15th of this year at DU at the Magnus and Joy Burns Arena. We have a big game. We're doing National Anthem, and we're doing that on Thursday this year.
I'm sure that kid's getting a hoot out of that.
Oh,
right?
I tell you, it brings a tear to my eyes. We line everybody up at center ice, and we do the National Anthem, and we have the big camera, jumbo camera, that shows the kids playing the game, and so they're watching the camera and they're playing and having a good time. And that'll be Thursday this year at 2:45, and then Friday we're going to do. Actually, we're going to divide the coaches up and give them a little ice time. We're going to divide the kids and the coaches up, and we'll have a coaches and kids game, and they could really start to see how all this comes together, because we have some very talented coaches, high school players, varsity players, coaches who played in the NHL. So it's a good opportunity for the kids to have some fun.
I remember when you first, came to joined us in the booth as Scooter Jeanette takes down low 1 and 2. And now that you're embarking on your 12th year, that's got to be a sense of pride for you.
How it feels, it's my wife and I, we always get overstressed about these things, but I'll tell you, it is so neat to spend that time with those kids. And there are a lot of smart kids out there, and we just have to give them chances. And then they have to be responsible for their own choices. And that's part of our message to them as well.
Well, Gary, I'm going to talk baseball here for a few seconds very quickly. Scooter Gennett right now, he cannot make an out. He hit that off the very end of the bat, and he lobbed it over 6'4" Ryan McMahon. That's 7 straight hits for Gennett. Now they're 2 on with 2 outs with Suarez coming up.
Now for the month of May, he came into the ballgame hitting .392. He might be over .400 for the month. Just drop the back knee on the Subaru Supermo off the end of the bat. That's when things are going well for you.
You think?
Right? I mean, you could do everything wrong as a hitter, and you still end up right.
So Marquez will have to bear down here all of a sudden after getting 2 quick outs. Suarez looks at a breaking ball down low, 1-0. Has there been any thought, I mean, all the work that goes into this program, is there any thought of expanding it all, maybe doing, 2 a year, that sort of thing?
We look more at expansion potentially out of state, and we're supported by the NHL, makes the contributions to us, USA Hockey. So I'm hopeful in the long run that this program can go from state to state. And then maybe within Colorado, instead of doing 2 at DU, you do 1 down at Colorado Springs, or maybe 1 in Fort Collins, and stuff like that. So
I've asked you this before, Gary, and I know hockey, the centerpiece, because it was a joy of yours and that sort of thing. And it's not, you're not trying to mold, a future NHL player. But have there been any kids that really gravitated toward it and had some natural ability that was able to continue a little bit?
Yes, we had one young man several years ago. And he went on to play in a interleague program, and then proceeded to play up through high school level.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Very
and now
neat.
he's a graduate. He's a master's student at DU.
That is
wow.
awesome.
Yeah,
Great
bright young man.
Yeah,
so,
that you talk about a success story right there. That's all of it. Gary, it's so good to see you,
Gary,
man. Good luck with
Thank you.
Miracles on Ice.
Thank you, guys.
You bet.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thanks. Good to see you.
Season beach towel courtesy of King Supers. The Rockies ahead 3-1 as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. It'll be 3-4-5 for the Rockies. Nolan with the base hit his first time up.
And where'd you go with it?
Right field.
Look out. Matt Harvey maybe sending a little message. Rockies have produced 3 runs against Harvey in the first on the 2 long balls. Dahl and the 2-run shot by Cargo. In last inning they had runners at first and third with 2 outs, and Dahl hit it sharply, but Gennett made a nice play to get Cincinnati off the field. Nolan takes strike 1. Center cut fastball at 94, which is about where he's been topping out. Matt Harvey. He had Tommy John surgery a couple years ago.
I think Nolan might have kind of tweaked his leg on that first pitch, getting out of the way. He keeps kind of moving it, shaking it out. Trying to stretch it. I can't tell if it's his groin, maybe his hip.
I was looking after you said that at the swing to see if it had its normal violence, if you will, to it, and it did. I mean, he took a hack.
But I just, after he got out of the way, he kind of moved like it was just trying to stretch it.
It's fouled off. Well, you know this to be true, Huey. There are a lot of muscle pulls in the game of baseball because unlike any other sport or the major sports, include soccer, we're talking about hockey with Gary here a moment ago, you're moving and you know, even when you stop, you know when you're about to move. In baseball, that's not the case. In baseball, defensively, you I call it rolling up, you're getting yourself ready to move, but then all of a sudden it's an explosive movement. Baseball, you're trying to put a ball in play, and then all of a sudden it's an explosive move. So the muscles go from a static place to all of a sudden they're firing. And that's why you get muscle pulls. And you're right. There's something that's
not quite right.
Yeah, it's bothering Nolan. Let's see if anybody by the name of Keith Duggar or Scotty Garrett go over and visit with him.
I think he just talked to one of them and might have pulled him aside.
Story popped out his first time. Matt Harvey, it's going to be, he's going to go downstairs with Scotty Garrett. And I think Scotty just tapped Buddy Black to let him know they're going to take a quick look at him.
Then if you're Daniel Castro, you're starting to get loose.
Because McMahon would go to third, Castro would have to come in, and that's what's happening. You've been there a few times.
I have, and that's why you watch the game, because it takes one just getting out of the way, not even a swing, that I noticed something wasn't quite right. So then if you're Daniel, you see that, so you mentally start to prepare. I might have to go in. If it doesn't happen, then you shut it back down for a little bit.
Upper part of the strike zone called second strike by Dan Bellino, so it's 2-2 on Trevor. Story yesterday, 1 for 4. Robbed of probably a double, maybe a triple by Billy Hamilton, tracking a high line drive down in the right center field gap. Trevor's in a really good place offensively. 3-2.
He's in good place. He took the ball the other way last night in his first at bat.
Suarez will come and get this. High throw. Ooh, that's worthy of taking a look at.
Brian Jones is immediately rewinding this one.
I'm not so sure Story didn't flat beat this. And Joey Votto's 6'4", and he needed to be 6'4" and reach up to make the catch. Talked about how fast Billy Hamilton is. Well, Trevor Story's right there foot speed wise. He really is. He absolutely can motor.
That's why the high throw on the Subaru Supermo.
What do you got, Huey?
I think he's safe. Watch the right foot. Yeah, I think he's, well, I don't know now. I'd be kind of looking at it at another angle.
Rockies will not challenge. So 2 outs, nobody on for Cargo. He gave everybody on the rooftop a scare his first time up.
Something that was going to land in their drink.
Join a Sunday afternoon with a mimosa, and all of a sudden it was incoming.
Knocked the umbrella right out.
Right. And here's a base hit to right. Now, we said at the start of the afternoon, Huey, that Cargo really, and he knows this, he needed to have a good day. He needs to have a good week. He needs to get back to being the guy we saw again late last year as we check in downstairs with Taylor?
I think it's upstairs to the rooftop. We're here with Wyatt, who caught that 461 feet homer by Carlos Gonzalez. Can you hold it up? You got it. He's got it. What are you going to do with that when you get home?
Probably put it in my room.
Put it in your room. I don't blame the kid. I mean, that is serious gold right there, Drew.
That's pretty cool. That's what he should do, put it in his room. That'll end the inning. The ground out by Desmond. The Rockies will head to the fourth, enjoying a 3-1 lead. Attaboy. Bit, but he's out there playing defense, so that's extraordinary news. Rockies up 3-1, top of the fourth inning. It'll be Scott Schebler, Jose Peraza, and then pitcher Matt Harvey. And we welcome to the booth the Rockies general manager Jeff Bridich. And I was just kidding Jeff a moment ago. I said we haven't seen you in a dog's age, and that's not because you haven't been here. You've been around the country because the amateur draft's coming up. How's that going?
Well, I think you get to a point, seems like, where the scouts, kind of everybody, not just our guys, but everybody in the industry is kind of like, all right, let's go.
You've seen everybody,
Yeah,
done all the
Got all
reports.
the names.
You know, and you want to, obviously, they work so hard and travel so much and have so many conversations and see so many games. But there is, I think, a capacity at some point where you're just kind of ready for the actual thing.
And it's coming up soon, too.
It is.
Yeah, you'll head off to Arizona soon.
Yep. Yeah, a few days, and we'll start putting our board together. And you know, our scouts. What's today? Sunday. So the scouts are starting to fly in today, and you know, Mark Gustafson and Sterling Manfred have been down at Salt River getting things ready for a full week now.
Oh wow!
And you know, our guys do a great job getting ready for it, and then we'll have a kind of a week, and you know, on the 1st or on the 4th, right? Monday the 4th
yeah.
is
First day.
where we go.
Do you know, it's pretty cool, and I remember Dan was kind enough a bunch of years ago, you were in the room, to let me sit in and watch part of the draft.
Yep.
And it was fascinating for me. He always been a part of it when he was with the Cubs organization, when he was roving for them. And you guys did it here, and now to be able to take advantage of the beautiful facility down in Scottsdale, and it's a little quieter, less distractions. It's got to be perfect for you guys.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, we continue to be so blessed to be at Salt River Fields and everything that it is, and why not? You know, we're able to kind of kill two birds there, you know, and see the end of our extended spring program with those young kids down there, and then hold a draft, as you said, kind of uncluttered and uninterrupted down there, and really spread out and do everything, all the things that we like to do to get ourselves ready for the draft.
Hey, real quick, because we were just talking about it, and I was visiting with one of your longtime national cross-checkers, Mike Erickson, about a week or so ago, about a couple of topics, draft being one, and he said this year that pretty deep draft, not necessarily top-heavy where there's like a Bryce Harper or Steven Strasburg up top, so you can get value down the road, can't you?
Seems like it. Yeah, it's probably I mean, a fair, it's one man's opinion. But
Sure.
I think it seems like the talking heads kind of look at it that way. You never know, right? I mean, you think you've got it kind of squared away, and you think and then 3-4 years later, oh well, how about that guy in the second round or that guy in the fourth round? And but I do think that it is a little different this year in terms of there maybe is no Bryce Harper. There's no cluster, that elite cluster maybe at the top. And I think it's still a lot of guessing right now in terms of who's going to be the first round, the first pick overall, and then who are going to be those kind of top 3, 4, 5 guys that go off the board.
Does it lean more heavily towards college players or high school, or is it just an individual player?
Well, I think I think we have played our part. Going around the country and watching a bunch of college games all over the country this year. You never know. I would say it's a little bit down, and I think Pro Bowl is a part of it. I mean, the money that is out there for high school kids who want to enter Pro Ball, it's not just first round.
Right.
The money's pretty good in the second round and even the third. And so I do think probably more and more of those really, really elite high school players are signing into Pro Ball, and so that does affect college talent.
Ryan McMahon makes the play on Peraza, 2 outs, and that'll bring up Matt Harvey.
How many games have you gone out and see? I mean, in the last,
It
month,
seems like
week.
all of them. It seems like
You've seen every high school game in America the last 10 days.
Yeah, everywhere. I've been absolutely everywhere. No, I've probably seen 40-ish guys.
This is kind of a passion for you, because there's some GMs that I've known that, okay, the scouting director, they kind of do their thing. I'll be involved maybe in a couple picks, but this is really a passion of yours too.
I think it's important in the role. Personally, that's how I look at the job. I think there's, it's called general manager. It's not just major league team manager. It's not like we have to be concerned. I mean, Bill Schmidt and Danny and Gus and all these guys, all of our cross-checkers, they've been around for so long. They do such a great job. They know how to do the job so well. I enjoy being a part of their process. I enjoy being with our scouts and being able to interface with those guys and hearing their thoughts and seeing what we think of the talent.
Jeff's going to hang with us for a little bit today. That's be great. So talking scouting, we'll talk about the big league club. We'll talk about some other things with Jeff when we come back. Good inning for Herman, 3-1 Colorado. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. By UC Health, live extraordinary. And by Papa John's, use code ROXWIN for 50% off pizzas at papajohns.com. We embark on the bottom of the fourth inning, bottom third of the order for the Rockies. They lead 3-1. Home runs by David Dahl and a 2-run mammoth shot by Carlos Gonzalez. Against the Dark Knight, Matt Harvey making his fourth start in a Reds uniform. Jeff Breidish, the Rockies GM, continues with us as Ryan McMahon will step in. Just to finish off some of the scouting stuff, you'll see or try to see the top 50, 75, 100 players on your draft board. Is it, where's the number?
Yeah, that's, I mean, the top 100 is probably not realistic. I try to see as many as possible. You know, it probably ends up year to year being somewhere between 25 and 50 of what we think are the top guys. You know, and where you draft, I mean, for my purposes anyway, I mean, where we draft kind of changes things. When you draft up high, and you know, for that first round pick, at least you kind of have a sense of, by the end of this process, you have a sense of, okay, who's probably going to be in the mix here, who's realistic. And when you draft 22nd, there's 21 teams and a lot of potential players that could go 21 times before you pick, and so it's a little bit more challenging to kind of whittle it down.
Yeah, like that Orange County shortstop, the high school shortstop, who's, I think it's Bryce.
Terang?
Yeah, I mean, do you even bother going? He's supposed to go pretty high. Do you even bother going seeing him?
Well, yeah, sure. Players like him. I personally didn't see him. I missed him, but this year. But sure, there are a number of players like him, absolutely, that you try to see. And sometimes you know, I mean, it's the perils of scouting. It's the perils of trying to play baseball outdoors, right? It's sometimes, I mean, you literally talk to our scouts. Sometimes they change their plans, or especially our cross-checkers. They'll change their plans with, you know, hour to hour based on what the weather's, you know, scheduled to be on this job.
Yeah, nice piece of hitting by McMahon. He'll get a double out of that. Ryan's third knock since returning to the big leagues yesterday afternoon. So a good start in the fourth inning in front of Tony Walters coming up. Little for you, put your scouting hat on. And again, Jeff was saying that you know, you have a scouting background. I think it's one of the reasons you enjoy going out so much. A little shorter to the baseball since he's come back for you, Ryan?
Rhino, yeah, it was one of the things that we worked on. You know, when he was down there, one of the most important things was clearing the head, right? And getting back to just playing the game, showing up every day, doing your job, play the game. And some of it was mechanical and some shortness of the swing and you know, seeing the ball, making sure that you see the ball and you're not committing to the ball out of the hand. You know, there's a lot that mentally can go into that and where he was at when he went down. But, you know, he needed a little bit of time. And that was a good swing right there.
See if Tony can move him here. It's a little different situation batting eighth. He's going to get the job done. You have the pitcher coming up, which is this is always for me a fascinating thing. It's why I love the National League, because one out, runner at third, +2 on the scoreboard. They're thinking, all right, he's going to say, you know, what kind of bunt is he going to lay down? If they charge hard, do you pull it back and you have the slug bunt? I love this part of the game.
Well, and that's why I think it was important, even, you know, for Tony to get that runner over. Even with the pitcher hitting behind you, you gotta have your options now if you're Bud to be able to do those little things. It also puts a little bit of pressure on the pitcher. He buries one, goes to the backstop, and you got to run.
Well, you see what happens to the infield, right?
Yeah.
So now, if Herman can swing at a good pitch, you know, it draws the infield and it gives him a little bit.
So not so fast. He's a 313 hitter now.
Well, it's 294 now, but you know, maybe we should be hitting him what, 4th, 5th?
Jeanette will hold him and freeze McMahon at third base, and Charlie will come up and try to produce a 2-out RBI.
So with all your travels, obviously you watch every single ball game. Is it harder for you to watch it when you're away or in person?
It's usually harder in person, to be honest with you.
I thought you were going to say that. And here, can I let a little bit of the cat out of the bag? You're an intense guy. And
you don't say.
Yeah, you're an intense guy. I know that. We've known each other a long time.
First time anybody's ever seen
me. Nobody ever described you that way. So I would think when you're away from it, it's a little easier than when you're sitting next door.
Yeah, and you know, distance sometimes it makes the heart grow fonder, sometimes it doesn't, right? I mean, it just kind of depends on what's going on and how we're playing. But yeah, it's usually, it's more real here. It's more, you're more kind of attached to it in person, just like our fans are. And there are some times where I can't watch the game just based on this past month, where from the college game or high school game, a night game, or something like that.
Two strikes on Charlie. Something that Harvey continues when he's pitching well to do decently, elevate his fastball. Again, it's not the same RPM it used to be. Did it surprise you at all that he ended up in Cincinnati?
A little bit. I mean, I think the need, it's a good match in terms of them feeling like they needed starters. But yeah, I mean, I was kind of handicapping, I guess, a few other teams that were maybe starter needy, but it's an opportunity for him to play and perform and get out of that spotlight and that fishbowl that is New York, and start over again.
Well, it's a cliche, the change of scenery. We say it in every sport. He truly needed a change of scenery. That's not going to get far enough away. Tucker Barnhart kept it in the neighborhood. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And when somebody's DFA like Harvey was, it goes reverse order, right? The team with the worst record.
Well, if and when he's put on waivers. Right.
Okay.
And then when you're designated or a player's designated, the team has about 8 days now. That the rules changed a little bit. So there's used to be almost 10 days, and now it's a little bit shorter. But you can trade them first before you have to put them on waivers. If you can trade them, you can trade them. Man, just trade them to whomever.
Charlie back in the count, and now it's 3-2 with Dahl on deck. Amazing how things swing. It went from 0-2 now to 3-2. So Charlie perhaps in the driver's seat here. He fouled out to third, and then a single up the middle. 1 for 2. 5 hits in the series for Blackmon. Trying to bring home Mcmahon, who led the inning off with a double. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. So the Rockies will go to the 5th with a 3-1 lead. We'll continue with Jeff Bridich when we come back. A 2-out run in the first has been pretty good, and he'll have Billy Hamilton then the top of the order. It sounds strange to say Billy Hamilton and then the top of the order. You think Billy Hamilton being a type of guy who would hit at the top of the order. Billy did something very interesting his first time up. On a 1-2 pitch, he tried to bunt again, fouled it off. The only other guy I've seen try to bunt for a hit with 2 strikes is D. Gordon.
And he did that once, I remember, with the Dodgers, another time with Miami.
Rockies general manager Jeff Bridich is with us. So here's the good news. The Rockies are in first place. That's always a good thing. I think every club, you know, when you're a fan of a club, you see all of your team's warts. You know, if you're a Houston Astros fan, and from afar, we say, man, what a great looking club that is, and what an unbelievable rotation. But I'm sure if you follow them every day, they look at certain areas where they feel they can get better. Let me start with the offense, because we as announcers, I don't remember ever talking this much about offensive woes with a Colorado Rockies club, and now we're into game 53.
Yep.
How would you assess your offense through the first third of the season?
I choose my words carefully here, but I would say frustrating. You know, this is very much a veteran-laden club, you know, and it's there's a few younger guys sprinkled in, but you know, even some of the younger guys are young veterans. You know, it's not like we've got some 3 or 4 or 5 rookies out there, or second-year guys. It's pretty much a veteran club, and you know, I think in a lot of ways statistics can tell a story. In a lot of ways statistics can be manipulated to tell whatever story you want to tell. But I think our overall team offensive stats are pretty definitive. You know, I mean, they tell a serious story about, you know, what we have and have not been able to do offensively as a ball club, and it has been frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you look at it in snippets. You say, okay, you know, 3 weeks, even 4 weeks, you know, bad weather, guys got off to a slow start. When you get to this number of games, so you're basically, there is a concern.
Yeah, I think, you know, all that concept, there is that truth too. It's early, you know, and it's cold, and all those quasi excuses that, you know, at times we tell ourselves in a competitive business to make ourselves feel a little bit better about what's going on, but also at some point in the season, that becomes, you know, that doesn't become the truth. And so, you know, we're 2 full months into the season, and that's a large part of the season. And you know, if you remember last year, the outcry, I think, in a lot of ways was, well, the Rockies don't hit home runs, and we can't hit home runs, and this and that. And this year, you know, we are hitting home runs, and we're hitting the ball out of the ballpark, but we're not being consistent at all in how we score runs. And that's really the name of the game, right? And offensively, whether you do it with the home run or you do it in other ways, it's really about scoring runs.
And strikeouts across the board are kind of up in baseball, but for the Rockies too, it's almost 26% of the time. Is that a concern?
Sure. Empty at bats. You know, I mean, there are very few. You know, you played for so long. You know, there
Should be too. Real quick, on an individual note, and speaking of young players, we were saying certain young players, and he's a young player you're trying to mix in. He got his feet wet a little bit last year, didn't play a lot. But Ryan McMahon, athletically, play he made last night defensively, and even that right there. I mean, if there's any kind of bobble, you don't turn it over after, you know, the walk to Billy Hamilton. Good
and that's
play.
right there. I mean, that's why we move our infielders around when they're developing through the system, is so that, you know, here's the opportunity. You know, when we drafted Ryan McMahon, you know, there wasn't a whole lot of thought about him playing second base at the major league level, but you know, getting to know him and athletically and as a person, you do some of those things so that he can do what we're seeing out here at this position.
Barnhart's going to fly out. I don't want to bogart all your time today. Do you have another half inning?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
Great. So that was a good job by Herman after walking Billy Hamilton to get the double play behind it. Rockies leading 3-1 as we move to the bottom of the 5th. More good news from down under, down in Albuquerque. Antonio Senzatella continues to pitch well. 6 innings, a run last night, 6 punch-outs, no walks. He has a low 2 ERA right now after 4 starts down there, and a 6-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. The general manager, Jeff Breidish, continues with us very quickly on Senza. That has to please you to know.
Yeah, he matched up against somebody named Bumgarner last night down there, so it was all tough.
And Mad Bum was pretty good too.
He was pretty
got
good.
some experience. David Dahl, Nolan Arenado, Trevor Story in the Rockies half of the 5th inning. David Dahl, a towering second deck home run. And the first pitch he saw from Matt Harvey. So we're talking about your ball club, and this ball's pretty well hit to left. Did he click enough of it? Oh, not quite, as Winker makes the catch in front of the 390 mark. You talk about electricity in his hands for not a big guy.
He barrels it. He barrels it. It can go.
Let's talk about the rotation. One of the few rotations to make every single start this year, and I think, and this is a testament to the kids first, but also to Buddy and to Steve and to Darren Holmes, the work they've done. Those kids didn't sit back on their laurels of having, by and large, nice rookie years. And obviously for Chad, it wasn't his rookie year.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about. And guys are making strides.
Yeah, they are. I think it's so great to see Chad back with everything that he went through last year, and being able to not just. I mean, he's making every start, so it's not just that. It's actually performing well and even becoming a better pitcher than he was a couple years ago in how he goes about it. And, that's a great story. Kyle Freeland's growth and some of the things that he is doing, continues to learn on the job, but he's done a nice job. And Tyler Anderson being healthy, it's nice to see. He usually gives you a chance to win the game, which is his job. I think John Gray and German Marquez has been a little bit more of a roller coaster season for them. Johnny. When Johnny's been really good, he's been really good, and when he's been not really good, it's been pretty bad. German, in April too, it was that way, and so there still are a lot of lessons to be learned here. But they've done a nice job overall, giving us chances to win games.
But in this day and age of having to roll through a lot of starters, you've only used 5.
Yep.
And even go back to last year, you've only used, I think it's 8 total over the last 2 years.
And I don't. You never know. You're only 1 inning or 1 pitch or 1 game away.
I don't
from
want to jinx it, okay?
Right?
I'm not trying to jinx it.
But it's a solid part of our ball club, no doubt.
You've said this. You've been on record really the last year plus. This is a win now mode. You love this club, and that doesn't mean it's a perfect club. There's no such thing as a perfect club. You're in first in a very competitive division. There's some surprise teams in other divisions. If you want to get in the crystal ball and look ahead, long range, hey, can the wild card come out? I know you want to win a division title.
Yep.
And you want to win a world championship. How do you improve in some of these areas that you feel you need to improve in to make this club hopefully a division winner?
Well, I think that for the most part of the core in terms of pitching and defense have been there. We have some guys in the bullpen that can perform better and execute better than they have. But I think our pitching and our defense, as it stands here right now, is a strong part of the club. Our offensive players, as a group, they need to do a better job of scoring runs and creating ways of scoring runs. As I said before, it's a veteran team, and there's a lot of guys with a lot of experience out here. And it's not just one person, it's the group. It's the group effort, and the group effort needs to be better.
Well, talking about a guy that has gotten better, especially in the last month, and we were talking about strikeouts, but Trevor's approach now, a lot quieter at the plate, taking what the pitcher gives him. He's still going to strike out some. I mean, that's just his swing. But for Trevor, he's one of the guys that's, backed off, where sometimes less is more.
You can see the adjustment, right? You can see the physical adjustment in the box. It looks like he's seeing the ball very well right now over the past month, and in a lot of ways he's kind of taking what the opponents are giving.
Cargo is now 3 for 3. And if there's a guy that needed to have a day where he found the barrel 2 or 3 times, it was Carlos Gonzalez.
Yeah, you know, it's you know, he's done a nice job so far this year in terms of a few situations, kind of clutch situations late in games where he's found a way to get the job done, get the bat to the ball, and you know, in those situations, it's been more of a platoon role for him this year. But you know, some of it has been just, you know, performance driven, and letting David Dahl play a little bit more, and now that he's healthy, and so. Look, we're going to need the group. You know, that's why it keeps kind of coming back to this group, the group effort. It's still a long season in front of us. And we're going to need a lot of these guys to do well if we're going to achieve what we want to achieve here.
2 on. Desmond takes ball 1. And this, you know, this young man who has been such a good player at the major league level obviously has taken some heat this year. It's not for lack of effort. It's not for lack of time put in off the field, away from preparing for the game. He does everything right.
Yep.
And it's been a struggle for him. There's no other way to describe it.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know what you can add to that.
You know, I mean, well said. You know, I mean, all of it, right? The positive stuff, you know, and how he goes about and the intent. You know, but again, there is some truth in these numbers, and the numbers speak. You know, it's not a lack of playing time. He's in there a lot, almost every day.
Despite the poor average, he has had some really big hits, some truly game-winning hits.
Yep. Yeah. You know, those home runs have won games for us. You know?
Yeah, good take there. 3-0 as the Rockies try to produce some offense with 2 outs. That's where this game is really painful, because you look at the back of the baseball card for Ian Desmond, there's a lot of good.
Yep.
And you figure at some point water finds its level, right?
And pretty consistent, right? I mean, and that's one of the things, you know, every team, and you guys said it earlier, right? You see your own team so much, you see the warts, you live the highs and the lows, you know, and you don't see other teams quite as much. Almost every team in the game has highs and lows, has stretches of good and stretches of really bad, and that all points to consistency. We all want, you know, everybody to be consistent.
Sure.
In high levels of production all the time. But you know, these are human beings, and that doesn't always happen that way. But the great ones, the really good ones, the great ones figure out how to, you know, how to make that work and how to make it happen at this level. And I think that's what, you know, a lot of what's missing seemingly from this offense. We can see nights where we score 5, 6, 7 runs, and then we'll go for a stretch of a week where we struggle to even string hits together, or have base runners, or quality at bats in key situations. That's been a large part of our story so far this year.
And part of it too is it's not, you know, every night you're not going to have 7 or 8 guys that you can kind of be hot at the same time, but it seems like this year a lot of times it's just 1 or 2 guys. You're looking for that 4 or 5 guys to help you on a nightly basis.
And you know, and
it could be different guys.
And you get into the excuse, right? We talked about it earlier. April was weird. It was cold. We had guys suspended. You know, 2 guys missed almost 2 consecutive weeks of games because of suspension. We had DJ went down. We had some injuries, but you know, we're kind of past that, right?
Yeah.
And that's pretty far in the rearview mirror. And we've got to figure out how we're going to go forward. You know, those past things really don't matter anymore.
McMahon with 2 outs and the bases loaded, and this thing is going to drift into the crowd foul. Big opportunity for the Rockies to get some clear separation from the Reds here with the bases loaded in the 5th and 2 gone. The double last time up to left from McMahon.
You kind of have Matt Harvey on the ropes. Got the first 2 outs of this inning, and then single walk. You know, you have a chance to blow this one open. Wandy Peralta, the left-hander, out in the Reds bullpen.
Need a big hit.
Good take. 1 ball, 1 strike. Billy Hamilton shaded toward left center field. Well, one area that's been lights out is that eighth inning guy for you?
Otto?
Otto's been good. Wade Davis has been good in the ninth. This pull to Votto, and he's going to flip to first to get out of it. Jeff, we'll let you get on with your day.
Okay.
We always
Thanks,
appreciate it, man.
Thanks for
Happy
stopping
hunting.
by.
Nice to see you guys.
The draft
Thanks
coming
for
up.
having
Good to see you.
me.
Jeff
Yep.
Bridich, the
Appreciate it.
Rockies GM. Rockies up 3-1. Go to AT&T Sportsnet RM on Twitter to cast your vote. We'll show you the results during our post-game show. All right, who had the best offensive performance in baseball last night? Scooter Gennett, who had 5 hits here, and he caught the double, the line drive last night, the inning, the rally-killing double play. Mike Trout, Jose Abreu, and Jose Altuve. So if you didn't see what they did, if they were all in the same lineup, you had a really good chance last night of winning because they went a collective 18 for 18. That's good.
Well, I was going to say, if they're in the same lineup, they're still playing today because the game
There's
never
no
ends.
outs, right?
There's no outs.
How about Trout at Yankee Stadium? A bomb and 3 doubles. Abreu, a couple of doubles and a home run.
And a walk.
And then Altuve, who I think gets 4 hits every night, doesn't he?
Yes. He also included a triple in those 4 hits. I'm voting Mike Trout.
I'm gonna vote for Trout also.
Because that was his home run was also his 17th home run.
Yeah, his on-base percentage, I saw it this morning. I want to say it's like 465. Does that sound right? Somewhere up in the stratosphere. It's kind of like Joey Votto.
Yeah.
So the Rockies, in one of those games, Huey, where you feel like they're way out front, but it's a 2-run game.
Right.
Herman has settled in nicely. The Rockies have had traffic, but they haven't scored since that first inning when Dahl homered and Cargo homered.
Well, and these are the 2 guys, too. Votto and Gennett. They have all 4 hits.
Trout, a 461 on-base percentage and an OPS of 1148. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Votto. A double and a single today. He scored the only run for Cincinnati.
How about that practice swing, Drew, that he just took right there?
Just watching it.
It's kind of awkward.
But you know, as a hitter, the whole concentration was to stay inside, and stay short to the baseball.
That's why when he stays inside, he can go to left field. He's so adept at that with 2 strikes.
3-2. And he lifts this ball to Dahl and left. So Rockies are going to get him out here. Good job by Herman. 1 gone in the 6th.
Get on-demand access to the rooftop with the Rooftop Ballpark Pass. Choose the days and redeem your pass from your phone. Go to Rockies.com/pass for more information. Our thanks again to Jeff Bright. He's coming into the booth for a couple innings and giving us a state of not only what's happening with the Major League Club, what's coming up with the draft. A lot on his plate right now.
A lot on his plate, and very candid.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of Rockies fans, obviously, you know, frustrated with, thrilled that the Rockies are in first place, but frustrated maybe for the first time in their lives with the offense. That's never really a concern with Rockies teams. And Jeff said, hey, it's a concern.
I think they're frustrated, even though they're in first, because of the expectations this year coming into the season, which is good. And you like high expectations.
You want high expectations, and this is an organization that has their sights set, starting with Jeff and on down through Buddy Black and his staff. They're trying to win the whole thing.
That's right. Hey, got him out. He's human.
Cause for celebration. Scooter Gennett makes it out after 7 straight hits. He's going to fall 3 hits shy of the Reds' all-time record.
He's even looking up the big board saying, well, I got a hit last time when I went down to one knee on my back leg on the Subaru Supermo. This time, not so much. Buried the curveball. Tony blocks it. Just tag him right on the foot. Second out, and he got through the 2 guys that have had all 4 hits today.
Yeah, don't go to sleep though on Suarez. Ball 1. So Gennett, 7 straight hits. The Reds record 10 straight by Woody Williams in 1943. Not the Woody Williams you played against.
I thought the pitcher Woody Williams, that's not the same guy.
Different guy. And Bip Roberts in 92. Played against Bip Roberts
I
also.
Did.
Bip probably had a few leg hits in there.
No, I'm sure he did.
1 ball, 1 strike on Suarez. That's inside. 2-1. 1 run, 4 hits allowed by Marcus outside.
Yeah, he overthrew that pitch.
Coming off a great outing in Los Angeles. And so far he's backing it up after giving up the 1 run in the first inning after there were 2 quick outs.
And at home.
And a towering pop-up short left field. Story battling the sun. Will make the catch. Another 1-2-3 inning. Well done by Herman. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. The Rockies up 3-1.
A timeout earlier. Check out this tweet by Chris Iannetta. The guys usually play cards before the game, and it's always Noel Cuevas, Carlos Gonzalez, Gerardo Parra. Vinny pops in there a few times, but Cuevas not allowed to participate today. He was put into timeout. He was not allowed to cross that white line. I asked him, what did you do to get put into timeout? And he said, I don't know. I guess I was just being a rookie. They're pretty hard on the new guy. What do you think, Drew?
You know, one of my favorite rookie stories, and every organization does this, Taylor, and I'm going to let my partner here embellish this, is a veteran like Chris Ionetta will tell a rookie, hey, go get the key to the batting cage.
Oh my goodness.
Does every organization do that?
Yeah, everyone does it. A lot of times they'll pull it onto the bat boy. But remember earlier this year in Chicago, they had to go get coffee for the guys in their uniforms at the Starbucks.
That was Cuevas.
Right.
And he had to get, well, it was like 25 coffees. Marcus gets the bunt down. Good job by Herman. And Tony Walters got a good jump. So he's in scoring position for the top of the order. He had to borrow a cart from the clubhouse to get the Starbucks across back to Wrigley Field.
You know what? To me, that tells you I'm a part of the team. Okay, that says the guys have accepted me. They just don't want to show it right now.
Hey, if they're not asking you to do something, that's when you worry.
Yeah. It's like that coach that's yelling at you and you think, oh, why is he yelling at me all the time? It's because he wants you to get better. He thinks highly of you.
Yeah, when they don't yell at you, as the story goes, and this is a great truism, that's when you should be concerned. So the Rockies have run off Matt Harvey. Wandy Peralta aboard when we come back.
Game tomorrow night is a 5:10 first pitch, 5 o'clock. We'll get here early, though, if you want a team poster. New pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds, Wandy Peralta, 28 ball games now. That'll tie Brian Shaw and A.J. Ramos of the Mets with the most in the National League. And it has been about 3 weeks since he's allowed an earned run. A lot of strikeouts, or excuse me, walks. 20 and 24 in a third inning for Peralta.
You got Charlie to pop up on Friday night. He also faced Dahl on Friday night. David hit a fly ball to center field. Rockies trying to add on 3 runs, 9 hits. They've had traffic every inning against Harvey. And Peralta, slider in there for a strike. We were talking about consecutive hits.
Yeah.
Our favorite guy in the American League, not named Mike Trout, Jose Altuve.
Yeah.
10 straight hits going to the 9th inning today for Houston. 10 straight, and he lined out. 0-2 on Chuck Nasty.
Slider up in the Subaru strike zone and then slider away.
Well, the Rockies will see Altuve and the very talented world champion Astros later on in the summer. I look forward to that.
It'll be fun.
Yep, big time.
But it's not just Altuve, it's Bregman,
Correa, Springer, and that rotation's a joke.
Yeah.
0-2. Charlie, line drive, foul. This is one you got to find a way to score, Huey. The Rockies have flirted with really extending their lead. And they haven't gotten that big hit yet since the first inning. Last inning, they had the bases loaded, 2 outs. Ryan Mcmahon bounced out.
Yeah, they've left 7 guys on base in the last 4 innings.
With 1 out in the 4th, they had Mcmahon at 3rd. Couldn't get him home. Tony Walters at 2nd. 0-2, base hit. That'll get Tony home. Around 3rd, he'll score easily. Charlie Blackmon coming through yet again. 2-hit game Friday, 2-hit game Saturday, 2-hit game thus far on Sunday. RBI number 25, and the Rockies lead 4-1.
Let's not lose sight of the fact that German Marquez had his first sacrifice bunt of the year to get Tony to second base. And then the little punch swing, that is a controlled, I'm just trying to get the ball in play mode.
David Dahl to the plate. Well, Jeff Bridich a few minutes ago was talking about having the ability to change your approach a little bit with 2 strikes. The number of empty at bats has been alarming. Now throughout baseball, but you know, with the Rockies as well. And Charlie found a way to make contact, and he found a seam on the left side, and look at that, you get an RBI single.
Happen.
Sure,
good things happen. Not saying you're going to get a hit every time, but you know, you put it out there, and then you find a place, and then you build a little confidence from there.
Dahl has swung the bat well. The home run to the 2nd deck in the 1st, ground out the 2nd in the 2nd, and then he almost hit it out to left center field his last time up, right at the wall in front of the 390 mark. Winker made a catch. That was a high quality swing.
Well, the home run in the 1st inning, his 3rd on the year, came on the very first pitch from Matt Harvey.
3rd home run for Dahl. Drove in 3 yesterday.
That was a career high.
1 out, Charlie at 1st. The passes are better against lefties the last week or so than say the first few weeks when David came up. Fair statement?
Yeah, very fair statement. He was 0 for I think 12 or 13 against the lefties when he first came up, but much better now. They're competitive.
Yep. Well, this time Peralta wins that battle. There are 2 outs, and that'll bring up Nolan. And he's not going to face the lefty, not when he's hitting 6,000 against lefties. So he'll take a seat and watch as Jim Riggleman will take the baseball from Peralta. Nolan hitting well over 400 against southpaws. Rockies leading 4-1. Tanner Rainey will be coming in. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Rockies up 4-1. They have out-hit the Reds 10-4. Matt Harvey's line 5 1/3, 4 runs, 9 hits, couple of walks, 4 strikeouts. Wandy Peralta got 1 out, and now Tanner Rainey is going to be asked to try to get Nolan Arenado with Charlie Blackmon still at first base with Jeff Hewson and Taylor McGregor and our entire AT&T Sportsnet crew. I'm Drew Goodman. Hope you all are enjoying this Memorial Day weekend as the Rockies try to take 2 of 3 from the Reds.
And Tanner pitched Friday night. 3rd time he's been called up to the Reds this year, so he's on that Louisville-Cincinnati shuttle. Good thing for him, it's only a couple hours away. He can get up there quickly if they need him. Fastball almost 98 miles an hour on average. Changeup's hard at 90, same as the slider at 89.
Nolan drives this ball to deep center field. Take a good look. You won't see this one for long. 2-1 jack dead center. Nolan Arenado.
I'm really glad that leg's okay at Nolan. He didn't have to come out of the game.
Yeah, he looks just fine.
Well, when you hit him that far, you just have to trot too. It's not
Don't have to run
You
hard.
don't have to run.
Number 10 for Arenado. RBIs 28, 29, and now the Rockies lead is 6-1.
I'll take a peek on the Subaru Supermo where this ends up. They want it away. It goes back in or 3rd, and Nolan probably when he saw this coming inside, he thought, finally I get to see it, because everything else has been away from him. So he's gone to right field. He pulls this one into left center field, 449 feet.
3rd home run for the Rockies today, and it's coming out of the middle of the order. Dahl, Nolan, Cargo. This is the kind of offensive day. Listen, you're not going to have them every day, but this is the kind of day that you'd assume the Rockies would have had a lot more frequently through the first 1/3 of this season, where there's 3-4 guys really doing heavy damage. That'll end the inning. The Rockies add on 3 more, 6-1. Time for the Kubota pitching performance. German Marcus, after giving up a run in the first inning, since then he just keeps putting up zeros. And this start looking a whole lot like his start in Los Angeles 5 days ago.
It's just
Here
nice.
he is in the 7th inning.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. Look at some of the numbers when the Rockies starters go at least 6 innings at home. What the team record is compared if they don't. starting pitcher gets through the 6 at home, the team is 6-3. When they don't, they're just 2-9.
Next pitch will be the 90th. Good number for Herman, given the beginning of the 7th inning. And that's in there on Schebler. So it's a ball and 2 strikes.
Twice this year, Herman's gone over 100 pitches, so that's not an issue for him. Still has a lively fastball just up on the Subaru strike zone. He probably hasn't had the great command of some of his off-speed pitches, but enough of them to keep the hitters honest. That was a good pitch.
Yep, and an easy play for Ryan Mcmahon. So the Rockies today, Huey, have 3 home runs. They had the solo home run from Dahl and a pair of 2-run shots. I want to show you something that's interesting about their offense so far this year. They're hitting a lot of home runs, which, you know, that's never a bad thing, but a lot of solo home runs. This is coming into today. Almost 66% of their home runs have been solo shots. Last year, 12% lower. You know, the year before is 56%, year before 56%. The point being, you know, they haven't created the kind of traffic through the first third of the season to get the 2- and 3-run homers.
Well, look what's happened today. I mean, you've had a 2-run home run twice. And then that's when you build up the bigger leads. We always talk about crooked numbers.
Yep.
You know, so you're not just throwing the single digits up there. You know, and mentally for the other team when that happens, it's not only demoralizing, but it's, okay, now it's
a backbreaker.
We really got to battle if we want to be able to come back. And it's not just the then bloop and a blast that can tie you up or put you ahead. It's the bloop, the single. I mean, a lot more work involved.
2 strikes on Peraza. And that just missed. Alex Blandino's in the on-deck circle. 1-2 on Peraza. That's a well-located breaking ball too, because it's slightly off the plate. It's a chase pitch. Give Peraza credit for not chasing it, but that's a good 1-2 pitch. And the 2-2's line to left for a base hit. Just the 5th hit for the Reds, and that'll bring up Blandino.
Blandino 5 for 9 pinch hitting, a couple RBIs.
Fastball in the mid-90s for strike 1. Next pitch will be number 100.
I mentioned twice he's gone over 100. Last time out, back on the 4th of May, 105 pitches. April 28th, he had 113 pitches as Mike Dunn starts to fire away in the bullpen.
And that was spinning in there for a strike. 0-2. Devin Strong in beating the Dodgers last time out. I'm sure that Herman wants to match that here.
Just 2 hits against the Dodgers.
Oakland in the 4th inning at home at the Coliseum, leading the Diamondbacks 1-0. Dodgers leading the Padres 2-0. They're in the 4th inning at Dodger Stadium. That's just off the plate and a check swing. 1-2.
I saw this last night from Tyler Anderson where he didn't get something that didn't go his way. He stepped off the back of the mound. Herman did the same thing.
Two and 2. Tomorrow's Memorial Day game will be at 5 o'clock here. Strike 3 on the corner. Blandino's got 2 outs. And then a strikeout number 6 for Marcus.
He thought he had him struck out a couple different times. Goes with the overhand curveball on the Subaru Supermo. Look at that hold and stick from Tony.
Billy Hamilton, and this will pop up on the infield. Story makes the catch. Well done, Herman Marcus. Safely through the 7th inning. The Rockies enjoying a 6-1 advantage on this beautiful Sunday afternoon in Lodo. And as we always do on Sunday, we stick around for a rendition of God Bless America. Today it'll be performed by specialist Heidi Johnson. Enjoy, everybody.
Fans, the Colorado Rockies and Furniture Row are proud to host and honor those who sacrifice on behalf of us all. With us on the field today is Sergeant Chance Van Holly. While training in Romania, Sergeant Van Holly was in a convoy accident and broke his leg in 3 places, as well as having a major brain bleed. After recovering, he was able to return to duty and will be re-enlisting. Furniture Row and Denver Mattress are proud to present Sergeant Van Holly with a $250 gift certificate in appreciation of his service. Fans, please give a warm hero's welcome to Sergeant Chance Van Holly and all our nation's brave servicemen and women and their families. We thank you for your service and sacrifice. To nominate a military hero, visit Rockies.com/military hero. Fans, please rise as we honor our great country with the performance of God Bless America. Performing God Bless America today, representing the governor's own 101st Army Band of the Colorado National Guard, is Specialist Heidi Johnson. Please welcome Specialist Johnson and join her by singing along to God Bless America.
is stepping in. Carlos Gonzalez, 3 for 3, including a first inning 2-run home run. And the first pitch from Dylan Floro misses ball 1. Floro started the year in Louisville. '27-year-old from Merced, California, where Brian Fuentes is from. Brian, a guest of ours yesterday. Go play catch in the offseason with Tito, because he still lives in Merced.
We'll just run by the almond
farm. 2-0 on Cargo. And Cargo's got a 4 for 4 ball game. I keep going back to the conversation that you and I had at 10 o'clock, 10:30 this morning out on the field when some guys were taking extra batting practice, saying, Cargo knows that it's time, and it's not for lack of effort. I mean, he's been working his tail off, but to finally see the results.
Well, that's what it is. Everybody does it, whether you're a position player or a pitcher. I was talking to John Gray about this the other day. After his start, you're working so hard to do something, and you want to see immediate results. Sometimes it doesn't happen, sometimes it does, but when it happens, you just feel like this giant 100-pound weight has just come off your shoulders.
This ball is blasted to deep right center by Desmond. Nobody's going to catch this one. Into the Rockies bullpen. Make it 8-1. Home run number 9 for Desi.
Just his second here at Coors Field. The other 7 have come out on the road. Talking about a 100-pound weight kind of coming off the back. There's another guy.
Emphatic high fives from Buddy Black to Cargo and Ian Desmond. 4 home run day for the Rockies.
And how about this too? All of them except for the first one by Dahl have been 2-run shots.
McMahon's going to ground out to shortstop here for the first out in the 7th inning.
Well, let's go back and look at this from Ian. And create a little launch on that one. The timing was better on that swing. It's something that's been off a tick, and that's all it takes for a hitter. Your timing to be off just by a fraction. That one wasn't.
Tony Walters quietly at the bottom of the lineup has done his thing again. It seems like every ball game lately he's thrown out a hit and a walk, and today he's 1 for 2 with a walk. He scored a run.
Well, that walk Friday night might have been as big as anything that night.
He's had 2 walks this year to force in runs. One of them was a walk-off walk. And the Rockies are well on their way to being 15-7 in Tony's starts.
Well, we didn't even talk about his team ERA when he starts below 4.
Listen, Chris Iannetta yesterday set the Rockies up.
Oh, he did.
Late in the ball game to hopefully produce a win, and unfortunately it backfired. He had that double with nobody out, making it 2nd and 3rd.
Well, we just saw just a moment ago Ian kind of talking to Bud about his swing and how he was trying to say, I'm trying to make sure I keep that left shoulder in. If that shoulder starts to fly open, you slow down your bat, then you end up rolling over a lot of ground balls.
And there's another hit for Walters. Real good ball game for Tony.
It's a good ball game for Tony. A lot of individuals, but this is a good team at bats going on right now.
Again,
Jeff Bradley's talked about it.
Yeah, it's the kind of game that you thought you'd see fairly frequently from the Rockies, particularly at home. And there haven't been many. Let's be honest.
No.
But maybe this is the start of a lot of good things to happen as the Rockies look to take 2 of 3 from Cincinnati. Daniel Castro is going to pinch hit for German Marquez. What a day today on the mound for Marquez.
German, 7 innings, 5 hits, a couple walks, 6 strikeouts, and just 1 run, and that came way back in that 1st inning. And Ended up throwing 105 pitches, 62 of them for strikes. And 8 ground ball outs to boot.
Backed up the outing in Los Angeles. Overcame, giving up the run in the first inning, and as you said, doing it at Coors Field where the ERA was over 10 coming in.
He lowered his overall ERA for the year down to 4.21. But his last 5 starts, you know, his first 5 starts, it was a 6.14 ERA. His last 5 starts, 3.45. He'll go down even more today. So he is just trending in the right direction.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Castro. Here's something else. The Rockies coming into today were hitting .219 against right-handed pitching, and they got after Matt Harvey.
Yeah, Harvey gave up 9 hits today.
Rockies were slugging .367 against righties coming in. Castro strikes out. That's the second out of the 7th inning. It'll bring up Charlie Blackmon. Hey, everybody, you get tacos, fans. The Rockies have eclipsed the 7-run mark. Do not forget to go to your participating Taco Bell location tomorrow between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special with Moss at Taco Bell. Maybe you can do it on the way to the ballpark. Again, a 5 o'clock start tomorrow on Memorial Day against the Giants. Rockies will see a pair of lefties. Andrew Suarez and Derek Holland in that Giants series.
Sandwiched in between will be Jeff Samardzija.
Charlie 6 hits in this series. This will be a routine ground ball to Jeanette. In the inning, the Rockies got a base hit from Cargo, his 4th hit of the day, and then Ian Desmond hit a line drive home run to right center field, his 9th of the year. Refreshing finish. What an afternoon for Cargo. He hadn't had a 3-hit day all year. He hit one to the upper tank early and then 3 straight singles as he is 4 for 4 with a couple of ribs today. And you know the nice thing about it, listen, you get 4 hits, it's a great day. He barreled all 4 baseballs.
Yeah, there wasn't a, one great one, 3 other. You'll take no matter how they go. But when you square up all 4 of them, it's nice. He raised his batting average 37 points. so far.
Reminder, it's still relatively early when you can have a
But still,
4 for 4 day and you move up 37
when you put your head
points.
on the pillow
It looks better on the scoreboard when you go to the plate. Rockies, couple of changes. There you get Nolan off his feet. He may have mildly strained a muscle early in the game, but nothing to be, I guess, overly concerned about since he hit a 2-run bomb a little bit later on. But Mcmahon goes to third. Castro, who just pinch hit, goes to second, and Mike Dunn will handle the 8th inning. As Jesse Winker, the leadoff man, will step up. Winker 0 for 3 against Herman. 18th appearance for Mike Dunn.
Yeah, Mike pitched Friday night, 1 inning, gave up a hit, but had a strikeout. There were 18 pitches on Friday night, so he's good to go.
Starts him out with a slider. Winker not expecting that. It's 0-1. Ball and a strike. Two and one. And 3 balls and a strike. Mike lives in Las Vegas, and he has jumped on board with the Las Vegas Knights in a big way.
That starts tomorrow night in Vegas. There's only 2 guys that are playing in the Stanley Cup Finals that have won a previous cup. Talking about streaks. Streaks were made to be broken. Make history and win $5.6 million. Download Beat the Streak today in the App Store or on MLB.com/BTS.
One of the issues for Mike has been walks. He's walked 11 guys and 13 in the third. And
well, and 2, you got an 8-1 lead, and you got a left-handed batter.
You got to pound the zone here. Up by 7 runs. Tucker Barnhart, switch hitting catcher, in from the right side. .86 degrees, man, it is ideal out. Had over 43,000 last night. Haven't gotten the official crowd yet. It was a strong walk up today.
Almost 34,000 on Friday night.
We just did get the crowd. 36,387. This is in the air to shallow right. Cargo's going to have to field it on a hop. So 2 on for Votto. Buddy may have to get an arm up pretty quickly. It's Coors Field, and you never want to mess around.
No. You don't want to wait 1 batter too late.
And a couple lefty hitters in Votto and Jeanette. He's trying to get some consistency out of the middle of their bullpen. Real late, it's in great shape with Ottavino and Wade Davis. Two for 3 for Votto today.
Trying to get Adam up. Taking his time, not really firing hard now.
Well, this is where the at-bat typically begins with Joey Votto. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Didn't we say that a lot about Todd Helton too?
Yes.
Right. This is when the at-bat starts. That abbreviated, trying to stay inside the ball swing from Joey. I'd like to know how long and how heavy that bat is prior to him even choking up.
You think it's beyond 34 inches?
Well, that's what I don't know.
Yeah.
That's why I want to find out. It is not cupped at the end. Usually when you cup it at the end, it'll be a little bit lighter. You don't want it so top heavy.
Ball and 2 strikes on Votto.
They're advancing the runners on this because the umpire caught this ball underneath his right arm. Now I don't know why.
Buddy wants an explanation. I don't know if I've seen this before. Have you?
No, that's why I'm wondering why they automatically get to advance the base. Because isn't the umpire part of the field of play? It's right in his armpit.
Good catch. I would assume that scored a wild pitch then.
That'd be my assumption. And you see him signaling. What he's signaling is no trip to the mound, even though Buddy came out.
Two and two. Actually, let me. No, it is 2 and 2. No, it's 3 and 2. The scoreboard has 2 and 2. We have 3 and 2.
Yeah, 3 and 2. The umpire just signaled the same thing.
And now the bases are loaded with nobody out. You've enjoyed a great afternoon. It's 8-1. You don't want to make it uncomfortable.
We've thrown more balls than strikes.
Scooter Jeanette's 2 for 3. Rocky struck him out. Marquez specifically struck him out his last time up after he had produced 7 straight hits. Strike one. Didn't see that pitch too well, did he?
No, really fished for that one.
And a strikeout of Jeanette. Walters held on to it, 1 out.
That will be it for Mike with the right-hander Suarez coming up. That'll go to the bullpen for Adam Ottavino.
8-1 Colorado with 1 out in the 8th inning. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies, and by T-Mobile. Show your military appreciation and use the hashtag #HatsOffForHeroes. T-Mobile will donate $1 for each post. On this gorgeous Sunday, the Rockies have had a great day at the plate. They got a great start from German Marquez. 7 innings of 1-run baseball. The Rockies have hit 4 home runs today. Dahl, Cargo, Arenado, and Desmond. Adam Ottavino will be asked to get a couple outs in the 8th inning with the bases full. Suarez, the Reds' third baseman, will step up. And the first pitch is a strike. Walk in the first for Suarez, a strikeout and a pop out since.
Rockies this year with the inherited runners, just about 44%, but Otto 0 for 5. Usually he's coming in with a clean inning to start the 8th.
Sliders off the plate, 1-1. 2 balls and a strike. Ground ball fair, and Nolan's throw to first will complete the double play. An inning-ending double play, and the Rockies prevent Cincinnati from scoring despite the fact that they had them loaded with nobody out. 8-1 Colorado. The 8th inning, David got things going for the Rockies when they were down 1-0 in the first with a towering home run to the second deck in right field. And this afternoon's Fun Cam is brought to you by the Lodge Casino, your first choice for fun. Oh, no.
No.
The little boy had the baseball, and he forgot. He didn't realize that a Rocky had hit it, and he said, I'm throwing this thing back.
Good arm.
Yeah, really good arm. Except for the person in the lower level that he hit in the back of the head who said that didn't feel too good. Jackson Stevens will throw the bottom of the 8th inning. That's the plan for Cincinnati as Dahl steps up. David almost hit one out in the 5th inning to left. Joey Votto's come off the field. Brandon Dixon is in the ball game at first base. Well, Cuevas is in the on-deck circle for the Rockies.
Stevens, a lot of times they're long guy. Also one of 5 rookies for the Reds to make their opening day roster.
Well, the Reds over the last 3 years have had 34 players make their big league debut, which is the most of any team in the big leagues. They've had 5 this year. One of them, he's not on the current 25-man roster, is Rosell Herrera, who was a well thought of prospect in the Rockies organization, raised a Rocky.
We saw him during spring training. Remember a couple games when the Reds came over, we saw Rosell.
Brooks Pounders is starting to warm up for the Rockies. Looks like he'll handle the 9th inning. We mentioned the Rockies opening up that 3-game set against the Giants.
Yeah.
The Giants are going to get in late tonight because they play a night game at Wrigley against the Cubs.
Well, that's too bad.
All skies to left, and here's the series probables. Andrew Suarez, Chad Bettis tomorrow, then Jeff Samardzija, Kyle Freeland, who's really going so well for the Rockies. Derek Holland, the second of 2 lefties the Rockies will see in that series against John Gray. That'll be Wednesday evening.
I saw 2 out of those 3 in San Francisco. The Rockies were just out there. Saw Samardzija and Holland.
Here's Cuevas. That's in there for a strike. He's been steady Eddie since being called to the big leagues.
And I was just thinking, if you look ahead as players when you're in a role type of situation as Mr. Reliable is with Noel, so he knows the lefty's going tomorrow. So if I'm Noel, I'm getting a lot of rest tonight because I have a strong hunch that I'm going to be in the lineup tomorrow.
Well, he's been in there throughout against lefties because he's earned that right. And the decision tomorrow for Buddy, because he's not been playing Cargo against lefties. He hasn't even played him against some righties. He's trying to get Cargo going. Well, Cargo got going today, and now the question is, do you ride the fact that he barreled 4 balls, he hit one in the upper tank today, or do you say we're going to wait to have you face Samardzija on Tuesday instead of you facing lefties, and he's scuffled the last 2 years against lefties?
So I think you can say for certain that Charlie will be in center.
Yeah, that's a given.
Yeah, Noel's hitting .323 against lefties.
He'll be in there.
He's in there. Then it becomes Parra or Cargo, I think.
Yeah, or Dahl also is swinging the bat better against lefties. This is chopped foul. But those are really the biggest decisions, I would think, in lineup construction every day for Buddy. Castro will probably get the start tomorrow at second.
Yes.
But those corner outfield spots.
Right. I think you look at some of the numbers then. Have they had success? Have they had a lot of at-bats? If they did, what were the at-bats like?
One out, 3 and 2 on Cuevas. Another 3-2. And Jackson Stevens with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball strikes out Cuevas. 2 gone. That'll bring up Trevor Story.
Get your tickets now for the Dodgers' first visit to Coors Field this year. It's June 1st, 2nd, and 3rd at Rockies.com. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Pack the house. Wear your purple. Keep all the Dodger fans out of here.
Exactly. Story today, 1 for 4. He had a single back in the 5th inning. Rockies have not been retired in order in any inning. Story trying to prevent that from happening here in the bottom of the 8th. A shout out to Max George, the former Regis star. A couple hits last night for Lancaster, including his 5th home run of the season.
I know his dad was out there too. It was good for Bucky to be able to see his son get a few hits.
Yeah, you bet.
Always fun time when your parents are there and you can produce.
And that never changes, no matter how old they are.
Nope.
Even when they're getting a paycheck. Lancaster won 5-4 last night in the Cal League.
There's a little pumpkin.
Just gorgeous out. That's a good breaking ball. Stevens will get the strikeout on Story. We'll go to the 9th inning. The Rockies in charge 8-1.
Home runs, including from Carl.
Goes the dynamite.
Did you guys see Oprah?
Oh, what did Oprah do?
You get a home
got
run.
a home run. You got a hit. Everybody gets hits.
Especially
She
Carl.
had to be here.
We're forward so far. We'll talk about that and much more as our Toyota postgame show will be coming your way in just a couple minutes. It'll be fun. Stick around. In the meantime, back upstairs, the Drew and you.
Positive thoughts.
Positive thoughts.
Positive thoughts.
We had them today.
Positive thoughts.
See what happens.
Positive thoughts.
He's talking to you, Drew.
I always have positive thoughts,
thoughts.
Mr. Kickball Star.
We're
Never
going to
gonna
turn
let
the
it
page
go.
on that yet?
No.
No? Okay.
No, because
Positive thoughts.
listen,
Positive thoughts.
Stuck there forever.
I'm entertained by it, therefore I will keep running
There's
that
no
out there.
video evidence. There's no proof.
No, we do.
There
We
was out there somewhere.
We had it. Yeah.
we had the principal up here today.
an eyewitness that said it was true.
Yeah. Brooks Bounders will throw the 9th inning for the Rockies as they're +7 on the scoreboard. It'll be Scott Schebler, who's 0 for 3, leading things off.
Brooks pitched Sunday in San Francisco. This time he was out there, clean 1 inning of work for Brooks. Scoreless in 4 of his 6 appearances this year, make it 5 of 7.
Got the grill going later?
Yeah.
No, you gave me that look. You didn't
Well, I
prepare.
was just trying.
You didn't think about
well,
it.
I would no, because the family's at a graduation party right now, so I don't know how long they're going to be there, and then what's going to happen afterwards.
So
It could be
you may be grilling
take me
for,
out.
grilling for one.
Yes.
This is a high fly ball to deep left field, and it's caught out there
That is
by David Dahl. That's the same ball he hit, right?
Right in the same spot, right in front of the 390.
So a long first out in the 9th inning. It'll bring up the shortstop, Peraza.
You grill. I know. First of all, to your lovely wife, get well.
Yeah, you know what?
She's under the weather, and it's not.
She I don't know. She got pneumonia because
Yeah.
I think she works herself so hard. But she's feeling better today, and I'm
Good.
pleased to say that. Thank you. This is loop to shallow right, and that'll be a base hit.
So it's all on you tonight. Okay.
Which is scary.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
not comforting to the kids and my in-laws in town.
Yeah.
Pinch hitting for the Reds. This will be Adam Duvall. But he's looking at his scorecard.
There was a question.
I have no idea what this is about. Duvall hasn't been used yet.
All he was trying to check was it a straight up switch that they've been doing when Brandon Dixon went in the game? Because this is a pitcher spot, but they didn't know if they had double switched. That's what he was asking.
Inside, ball one on Duvall.
Well, I see what the confusion is now. Up on the big board here.
That's a base hit through the left side.
It has a pitcher listed third on the lineup, and where Dixon went in to play first base for Votto. They didn't put the pitcher there, so that's what the confusion is all about. Well, that snapped an 0 for 20 streak for Adam Duvall with that base hit. That's the second longest hitless streak going on in the majors right now.
Here's Billy Hamilton. Billy's 0 for 2 and a walk. Rockies need 2 outs to shake hands. And this one should be one of the outs, maybe not. That's going to drop. Kind of a high fly ball that I think Cargo thought it was hit a little better than it was. It's more off the end of the bat, and now the bases are loaded.
Well, you get the big swing. Cargo takes a drop step with that swing, then had to come racing in and field it on one hop. I like what that guy said behind home plate. Get a ground ball and let's go home.
Because he's got a barbecue coming up.
That's right.
Jesse Winker at the plate. Winker walked in the 8th inning when the Reds loaded the bases with nobody out, but Dunn was able to strike out Scooter Gennett, and then he gave way to Ottavino, and Ottavino got the ground ball double play. Now the Rockies have gotten up Wade Davis just in case, and he's throwing hard enough to make his 12U baseball team right now. It's grounded foul. And that's as hard as you hope he has to throw today.
And it might be a little bit softer than some of the 12U kids throw.
Yeah. A little bigger than most of the 12U kids, though.
Definitely a bigger beard.
Always be concerned if your son is on a 12U team and the other kid has a beard that looks like Charlie Blackmon's. 1-2. 2-2. And this goes to the backstop, and the Reds are going to get a run. You know what? The Rockies, obviously, they're in great position to win this baseball game, but you don't like sloppy. And if and I guarantee you, Buddy Black's not pleased right now.
No, ball Tony would like to have back. Last inning, there was a couple walks. There have been 4 hits in the last inning plus. Now it scoots through, and that will allow Peraza to come down and score. Still nobody out, or excuse me, 1 out. Shebler with the line out. It will be a wild pitch.
Eight to 2 and a 3-2 count on Winker. Barnhart's on deck. And now the bases are loaded again. That'll bring up Barnhart. Three hits and a walk in the inning.
He just saw the signal from Bud to have Tony go out to the mound to talk to Brooks.
These are days, and there've been few and far between where the Rockies have had comfortable 9th inning leads. They've got 9 and 5 in 1 inning, in 1-run games this year, which is an outstanding winning percentage. But so many of their games have been 1- and 2-run games, and you know that back end of Ottavino in the 8th and Wade Davis in the 9th have nailed things down. But here's an opportunity to give those guys rest, and unfortunately you had to use Ottavino for a handful of pitches last inning. And if you end up with Wade Davis in here, you fast forward, you go, what if it's a 1-run game on Tuesday and all of a sudden now he's not available?
Yeah, because you had to bring him
in a blowout.
Right, in an 8-2 game. That's the last thing you want to do. The last 5 games for the Rockies, they've had 3 1-run games, a 2-run game, and a 3-run game. To your point, this is the first time you've had that bigger lead.
So Wade Davis will have to come in. Top of the 9th, and the Rockies have had to call on their closer, Wade Davis. So this isn't a save situation. It's all about putting the W on the board.
It's more of a team save.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Save this, and don't stand out there for another 10 or 15 minutes when things start to really spiral. Just come in and lock it down. Boy, Drew, this is the last thing that Bud thought about as this inning started. Well, you know what? I might have to get it up. But then he saw what happened. He got the lead out, then a couple hits in a row, 3 hits in a row. Okay, I gotta worry about this now because it's Coors Field.
And then it's a mental check for Wade Davis.
Great point.
We know how sharp he is, how tough he is, and how focused he is. But you know, in a game like this, as you're watching from out there, you're figuring, all right, they're not going to need me today. It's 8-1 going to the ninth.
And even we were kind of joking about the way he started to get loose, just in case, get
toss
the arm,
a little bit,
just warmed up.
Back at Wade, and he'll get the double play.
There you go, one pitch.
Well, that worked out. Barnhart lines out. Ball game over. Rockies win it 8-2. They take 2 of 3 from Cincinnati. And Davis said, wow, you know what? That's coming back to me pretty hard.
I'm in the game now.
Now I am.
I'm in the game now.
I mean, this was, as it turned out, the perfect way to end it. And that Wade comes out there, only 1 pitch thrown. He caught it, and he saved his rib cage in the process of the Subaru Super Buff.
And then he didn't know where to go. Do I go to second? Do I go to third? Do I go to first? Hey, what a win, though.
A very good win. A ton of offense, 4 home runs, and the centerpiece was Carlos Gonzalez. But we'll let the fellows out there talk about it. And we go to center field right now. Connor and the boys, guys, all yours.
Drew, thank you very much. And you're right, there will be plenty to talk about. Both these games last night and today ended very similarly, actually.
Very strangely.
Positive thoughts?
Positive thoughts. Positive thoughts on Herman Marquez setting the tone. He had positive thoughts.
Positive thoughts.
Stay with us. Positive thoughts.
Positive thoughts.